impressive amateur record that ended with the light heavyweight Olympic gold. He entered the Super 6 World Boxing Classic Super Middleweight tournament and won the WBA title from Mikhail Kessler and retained it 3 times with wins over Alan Green, Sakio Bika, and Arthur Abraham before defeating Carl Froch in the finals of the WBC title. He set his sights on the 175-pound division and defeated Sergey Koloff for the WBA, IBF, WBO titles. He retired with a record of 32 wins, no losses, and 16 KOs. Renowned for his impeccable skills and ring intuition, he remains active in the sport as a ringside commentator. 2021 modern category Hall of Fame inductee Andre Ward.
I want to thank Ed Brophy and his team. They do a great job. First time I was here in 2015, and just amazing how a small town felt like a big town because everybody got together. So I appreciate you and your team for you guys did a great job and keeping me cool because I was calling you like Layla was calling me like, when are we getting in? I know it's COVID, I know we got masks, but I need my ring. Finally, I appreciate you. I want to thank God not just for being here, but just for keeping me, in life. Started off good, then I went astray, and, I almost lost it all at one point in time in my life, and he pulled me out of that, and he sustained me in a business like boxing. Boxing can be an amazing sport, but it's a cold, treacherous place sometimes, inside the ring and outside the ring. And I'm still here, and I'm alive to talk about it, so I thank God for that. I want to thank my wife. I gave her some flowers yesterday, but I want to thank her again just for riding with me. She struggled with me. She went through everything with me, and she grinded with me. So now we're shining together. I love you. I appreciate you. And I couldn't be here tonight. I want to thank my 4 beautiful children, Jones Jr, Malachi, Amira, my 5 beautiful children. I forgot one. Amari and Champ, I did this for y'all. It's a lot of early mornings in boxing, when everybody's sleeping. It's a lot of late nights in the gym. And it's a lot of times you don't want to go to training camp and it get rough. But I had y'all in mind. I didn't want to look at your faces if something went bad in that ring. I used to think about that Sunday morning looking at y'all after a fight if I lost. And I didn't want to do that. And I appreciate you guys just sticking with your daddy. I missed some things, but we're not complaining now. We made it to the hall, and they can't take that away from us. So I appreciate you guys. Millie and Bird, I thank you guys, my godparents, for taking me and my brother here when we didn't have nowhere to go. And Burge, I thank you for guiding me in life and in the sport of boxing and teaching me the right way to fight. Hit and not get hit. And that's why I'm here to talk about it right now. I appreciate you teaching me the art of boxing. I want to thank my mother, Madeline. We've been through some hard times, but I thank God for you because you got a lot of fighting. And I got a lot of my fight from you. And you never stopped trying to be in my life. You never stopped trying to bring our family back together. For that, I'm thankful and grateful, and I appreciate you and I love you. To my mother-in-law, Ramel, thank you for letting this little bad, rebellious boy who came from Oakland and was trying to date your daughter. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. I know you wasn't feeling me at first. You was looking at me kind of sideways. And you didn't believe I was going to be a gold medalist. I told you I was going to win that gold medal. And I did that. And I'm treating your baby girl the right way. So I appreciate the opportunity to date her and be with her. I thank my dad. My dad's been dead 20 years now. And he gave me the foundation of my faith in God. And, he started me out in the sport. He died right before everything took off. But his life has been speaking through me the last 20 years. So Dad, I know you'll be happy and proud. This was for you. I love you and I thank you for everything that you gave me. myself. You know, and I want to make sure I pay homage to the ones that deserve it. My pastors back in the Bay Area, Pastor Nicole, Pastor Napoleon, you need praying people on your side in this book. You need people praying. And I thank God for my church family that prayed for me, covered me, and looked out for me. I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all so much. Jay Prince, when Jay found me, I was done with boxing. I was in the streets. I still don't know how he found me. He found me and got my number somehow and tracked me down. I remember him telling me, I was telling him all my problems, everything I was going through, and he said, we're going to take care of all of this to be the problem. We just need to get you back in the ring. And Burge told Jay, he asked me, he said, man, help me with this kid, help me get him back on track. He's going to win a gold medal. We kept our word to you, Jay, and you kept your word to us. So I love you, man, and I appreciate you. To Josh Dubin, bro, I appreciate you for fighting for me, man. Never let nobody take advantage of me with these contracts. We learned together, we grew together, and I appreciate you for always encouraging me to be more than just a fighter. And let me know that boxing was a piece of my life, it wasn't my whole life. So I appreciate you, bro, and I love you. My boy Jack, man, Jack is probably one of the most underrated trainers, strength and conditioning and boxing coaches in the game. Edward Jackson, bro, I appreciate you for putting up with me in training camp. I appreciate you for being patient when I be yelling at you, because I come in my locker room and they got the AC on, and I'm trying to warm up, and I say, man, tell them to turn the air off, and you come back and the air's still on, and you try to explain to me that they're working on it, and I'm getting on you. I appreciate you, bro. And I appreciate the ride, man. We made it. To my brother Antonio Lennon, man, I appreciate you, bro, because, you know, boxing is a tough business, but I knew when it was fight time because T would show up. And T always kept everybody loose, and he never stopped telling me, you the best, T. You the best. And I appreciate you, bro. And the rest of my family and friends, you know who you are. I appreciate you for the role you played in my life. And I couldn't be here without you. And I gotta thank my big three, man. I don't understand, this don't make sense to me, and I told y'all this yesterday, you know, I'm getting in with my big three, Roy Jones, Bernard Hopkins, Floyd Mayweather. Roy, I appreciate you, man, because you was a country boy with swag. Yeah, you feeling like Pensacola, Florida was a place to be. I wanted the ducktail that you had. I wanted to dance in the ring like you danced, do the rooster dance. And you was the first one that I heard talk about the business of boxing. And why you started Square Ring Promotions with Brad Jacobs and why you did it, and you talked about fighter safety and fighters getting taken advantage of. I never forgot that, bro. I appreciate that. And to Bernard Hopkins, the least likely to succeed with your background and where you came from, but you overachieved. And the lesson you taught me was discipline. I remember the stories of Bernard yelling at Nazim Richardson or anybody that came in the gym with a soda pop. Man, we can't have that stuff in here, man, that's poison. Man, get that stuff out the gym, man. I'm trying to be a champion until I retire. And I'll be looking at Nas like, he did what? He said what? But that's the kind of discipline that you had to have if you was gonna be sitting in this seat today. Use an example, bro, and I appreciate it. And to Floyd Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather, you know, again, boxing is a treacherous business, it's hard. But Floyd always made boxing look fun. And I appreciate that. I appreciate how you dealt with your big moments, bro. I know you had a lot of pressure on you. You put some of it on yourself because you told him what you was gonna do. And you had swag with it, and you didn't bite your tongue. So that brought more pressure, but the whole world, I won't say the whole world, a lot of people wanted to see you get beat. Because everybody says they love a winner, but that's not true. Right. When you win a long time, people want to see you get beat just to see what's going to happen. I appreciate your dedication to the game, bro. And I got more than these three than they'll ever know. One video after the next, I watched it. I picked up every little thing and I imitated it and made it my own. Put my own flavor to it. I'm almost done, y'all. I'm almost done. I feel like Floyd yesterday. Floyd said, I need my time. You know, I get people that ask me all the time, you know, who was the hardest puncher that I fought and who was my toughest fighter? And I always tell them in the boxing. And throughout my career, you know, I fought a lot of great champions and had a lot of great fights. But I was always fighting the sport at the same time. You know, the narratives or the stereotypes that didn't fit. The prejudices and the biases that we face, I was trying to fight those too. And the idea that people would try to tell me that I couldn't be a man of God or be a believer or a man of faith in a sport like boxing. I've had people tell me that nobody wants to hear that, bro. My response was, well, if people can go in there and talk about this and talk about that, I can talk about who gave me the power to do what I did. I don't care how funny I look. I don't care how people feel about it. I'm not trying to be obnoxious about my faith. If you ask me how did I do something, I gotta tell you. I can't take glory from God. And you know, through this sport, I'm taking my lumps, and I'm not saying in the ring, I'm saying in some of these fights that I fought, you know, and I got knocked down a few times in the business of boxing, you know, and I got my scars to prove it. And because boxing is a formidable opponent, but I continue to fight on, and I refuse to fall victim to the old demons and the things that try to take fighters out. Rob fighters of their money, their legacy, and their faculties. The biggest fight that I had with boxing was when was it time to walk away, and how was I going to go out? I've been retired now for 5 years, and almost every day the sport is trying to pull me back. But every day that I stay going in the sport is another day that I win. And if I stick to my word and stay gone and never come back and leave my legacy the way that it is, I assure that boxing never defeats me. I want to leave that blueprint for the young life, the young fighters that's coming behind me. I'm going to say this in closing, y'all. I normally don't like to talk this much, but I got to do this today. Every fighter on this stage right here, even the fighters in the room, future Hall of Famers, champions, you know, we deal with extreme criticism and a lot of praise. And I had to learn this lesson the hard way. I had to learn to live my life in the middle. And I'm still learning that lesson. You know, some people love you, some people don't. Some people will respect and acknowledge what you've done in the sport. Some people won't. But one thing I do know is when you make it here to Canastota, New York, and you sit on the stage with great champions like this, male and female, at this point, the debate is over. Thank you very much.